Okay, this is how we pull rank off of Amazon so we can get the numbers into the spreadsheet or into the app. So my customers can use that data to make their buying decisions. When you go to Amazon, let's start to at the main page. You have a pull down menu of all the many different categories that they have. And I'm going to tell you which ones I want you to pull. And one of those is appliances. So we'll just start there. You used to be able to just leave this blank, leave this search bar blank, hit go, and it would magically come up with a bar up here with total numbers for the whole category, and everything was easy. One of the reasons that this app is necessary and more valuable now is that's not the way it is anymore. So one of the things that I've figured out is if you just put in the left bracket and the right bracket on your keyboard and hit go, you will see a search result like you used to with all the results for that category. So in appliances, there are 398,964 items. One key thing that you want to make sure, and this is not checked in this case, and we do not want it checked. So we're going to leave that unchecked. In some categories, this will be checked automatically. It doesn't happen very often, but occasionally this box will be checked when I pull this data, and I don't want it checked, so I have to go in and manually remember to uncheck it. It's one of those things that you'll have to write something in the software if we're pulling this stuff automatically that you'll have to be able to check that and uncheck that if it's checked. So I don't know if that's possible or not, but that would be great if that would be a possibility. So that's appliances. That's an easy one. So let's take these brackets out and pick another category. Let's go to, we're going to skip automotive because most sellers can't sell in automotive. Same thing with clothing. Let's go down to electronics. Electronics is a tricky category. We're going to hit go in electronics. And one of the reasons it's a tricky category is because Amazon reports this data in a different way than they report most categories. When I scan items out in the store with my phone to figure out if it's a good buy or not, I scan the item, and it doesn't come up as an electronics item like a toy would come up as a toy item. It comes up as one of these subcategories, or even worse, one of the subcategories. So we're going to have to list a lot of different subcategories in electronics. So it's going to be a kind of a trial and error to figure out which categories to list. For now, we're just going to start with these main subcategories and see how that works and see how customers respond to that. And if they ask for different subcategories, we'll add them as time goes by. So you'll see that just by leaving this field blank, in this case, unlike appliances, where this result didn't show up when we left this field blank, in this case, the numbers did show up. So we're going to use this number, we're going to use that as a category, but we're also going to use these subcategories underneath that electronics category. So let's click on accessories and supplies. And when you do that, you can see what I mean by all the subcategories. Underneath accessories and supplies, there's all these subcategories. And if I click on this, there's even more subcategories under that, and I can keep going on and on and on, but I won't. So let's go back to accessories and supplies. You'll see this main subheading under electronics, accessories and supplies, has over 6 million products in it by itself. So that's where you would pull that information from. Let's go to toys, which is a hot category that everybody wants to have the ranks for. So we need to make sure we have that. We'll click go. And you'll notice in this case, again, I don't know why, it's just randomly some categories don't show up. The totals don't show up unless you put these brackets in, and then voila, they show up. Again, we want to scroll down, make sure that include out of stock is not checked. It's not, so we could just use this number comfortably and know that that's a good number to use. Don't have to worry about any subcategories in toys and games because the apps don't return any results. When Amazon gives us results for toys and games category, they just call it toys and games, not toys and games and or boys toys or action toys or anything like that. It's just toys. Let's go to software for a minute. I think this is one of the categories where I had a problem with it checking the box automatically. Yep, you'll see this box is checked automatically down here under this. Software is another interesting category because we're going to want to eliminate the download versions. We don't want to include that. So again, this is stuff we'll figure out as we go along. We'll play around with it and eliminate things, but we do not want downloads in software because nobody sells downloads except for the manufacturers themselves and maybe Amazon. So when we get to software, we want to click on CD and DVD. So we're only listing the results for items that FBA sellers can sell. And you'll see we have this many results, but we still want to scroll down and make sure this is unchecked, and it's not. So we need to uncheck that, and we can see this number went it cut in half from what it was, which makes a huge difference when I'm making buying decisions on what I'm going to sell on Amazon. So again, if we check this, you see it's over 120,000, and then if I uncheck it, which is what I want, it brings it down to 63,000 and change. So it's a significant difference. So we really need to make sure that that's unchecked. I don't remember if there's any other category off the top of my head where that's always checked like that, but I know this one is one of those categories. So I'm sure we'll have lots of questions as we go back and forth and develop this, and I appreciate your time. So I do have Skype. I've never used it honestly before, but I'm willing to give it a shot and hook up with you so we can talk about this a little bit more. Thanks.